Let's discuss the summary of Kathmandu by Vikram Seth. The author Vikram Seth arrives at Kathmandu late in the night. He found a cheap room to stay so that he could explore the city in the coming days. The next day, he travels to Pashupatinath temple, one of the most famous Hindu temples in Kathmandu, with his travel companions. There, he is surprised to find that the temple was an epitome of chaos. The narrator finds thousands of worshippers trying to get the priest's attention. He also found how some foreigners were stopped by the police at the entrance, as this entry to the temple was reserved only for the Hindus. There were also people bowing to the princess of the Nepalese royal house as she made her way into the temple. The entire place was full of activity. Even the monkeys were found fighting with each other. The narrator's attention was turned to the banks of the Baghmati river. He found a corpse being cremated near the banks. There were washerwomen washing clothes nearby, and children were bathing in the river. It is believed that Baghmati river is the resting place of the shrine of goddess. The shrine protrudes halfway from its stone platform. People believe that when it fully emerges from the platform, the period of Kali Yuga will come to an end. In contrast to the frenzied nature of the Pashupatinath temple, the Bodhnath stupa was a picture of calm and stillness. Its white dome was surrounded by road, and there were small shops at its outer edge. There was no crowd at the stupa, which lent to its quiet character. After visiting the holy places sacred to Hindus and Buddhists, the narrator sets off to visit the busy streets of Kathmandu. He describes the city as vivid, mercenary, and religious. He sees many hawkers and vendors dotting the streets of Kathmandu, selling flowers, flutes, fruits, postcards, western cosmetics, film rolls, and chocolate. Sounds of film songs, car horns, bicycle bells, cows moving, and vendors shouting provided the background noise for the street sights. Vikram Seth buys himself a bar of marzipan, corn on the cob, comic books, and a Reader's Digest. He drinks a Coca-Cola and thinks about his return journey back to home. He feels homesick and decides to buy a flight ticket to reach home as early as possible. It was then that he saw a flute seller near one of the shops holding a long pole. From time to time, the seller would select a flute and play. The flute music was clearly distinct from the cacophony of street noises. The flute seller seemed to be not interested in selling his wares, rather, he seemed busy in playing his music. The narrator says that every culture has a version of flute: the ney from the Middle East, the Japanese shakuhachi, bansuri from India, and the flutes of South America. The narrator claims that the flute is common to every culture. He, however, notes that every flute from every culture has its own unique sound. Vikram Seth is surprised to find that he was so affected by the melodious sound of the bansuri. Earlier, during his travels, he believed that such details are insignificant. Now, however, he finds meaning and significance in little details like the flute seller playing his music.